Staples Center on a Sunday night as we get ready for a quadruple header on Showtime pay-per-view. Eduardo Ramirez and Miguel Marriaga set to begin tonight's proceedings, scheduled for 10 rounds in the 130-pound division. Marriaga, he is fighting his second consecutive southpaw. 3 of his 4 defeats have come against world champions, losing 12-round affairs against Nicholas Walters and Oscar Valdez. He was stopped in 7 by Vasily Lomachenko. And the 4th one that came against 2-time world title challenger Joey Gonzalez 2 fights ago. Hey, had it not been for the global pandemic, Marriaga would have had a 4th crack at a championship as he was scheduled to face then featherweight champ Shakur Stevenson on March 14, 2020. His opponent, Ramirez, he has scored 3 consecutive knockouts, tied for the longest such string of his career, and in doing so, he avenged a September 2017 draw against Ledwan Barthelemy by knocking him out in 4 rounds. He stopped world title challenger Miguel Flores in 5, and most recently, he trounced Isaac Abelar in 3 rounds on May 1st. This is his first fight at 130 in 7 years.
Well, we look at the numbers for these fighters, and one that jumps out is the age of Marriaga. You know, at 35, with all those wars that Mauro talked about, how much does he have in the tank? And for Ramirez, as Mauro pointed out, this is his first fight at 130 pounds. So how well will he do in going up in weight?
And the rules for all of our fights tonight. No 3 knockdown rule in effect. The referee or doctor can stop the fight. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. The fight is official after 4 rounds. It is time to get the official introductions. Here's Hall of Fame ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you and welcome to Staples Center here in Los Angeles, California, as Premier Boxing Champions presents a big night of action coming away, and it's all brought to you by Mayweather Promotions, GTD Promotions, TGB Promotions, and Showtime. And our opening attraction is presented in association with Samson Boxing and All-Star Boxing, and it is sanctioned by the WBC. The president, Mauricio Sulaiman. Supervisor is Jose Sulaiman. Introducing to you our 3 judges scoring our opening attraction from ringside. They're all from the state of California. Max DeLuca, Damian Walton, and Zachary Young. Introducing our 3rd man to the ring, the referee in charge of the action, Marcos Rosales. All right, fans, here we go. 10 rounds of action scheduled for the WBC Super Featherweight World Title Eliminator. Introducing to you first on my right, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black trunks with white trim, hailing from Arjona, Bolivar, Colombia. He weighed in at 129.5 pounds. His record, 30 wins, 4 losses, with 26 big wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight making his Showtime debut, here is the former world title challenger and the current world ranked contender, introducing the Scorpion, Miguel Escorpion Marriaga. And his opponent across the ring on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black trunks with silver trim, fighting out of the hotbed boxing city of Los Mochis, Sinaloa, Mexico. He weighed in the same as his opponent, 129.5 pounds. His record, 25 wins, 2 losses, 3 draws, 1 no contest, with 12 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the WBC number 2 ranked featherweight contender, introducing Eduardo Zurdo Ramirez. Once again, a referee in charge. Now to give instructions, Marcos Rosales.
Gentlemen, we've already gone over the rules in the back. Obey my commands at all times and protect yourself at all times. Como dije antes, señores, ya fuimos over las reglas. Defiéndense por las veces, ¿ok? Y obedécenme. Buena suerte. Ducks, gloves.
Referee Marcos Rosales with 24 years of professional experience. This is his 223rd professional fight. Bell, round one in this 130-pound scrap scheduled for 10 rounds. We mentioned that Marriaga's 0-for-3 in title fights. Ramirez 0-for-1 in 2017. He didn't make weight against then 126-pound belt holder Lee Selby. Thus couldn't win the title, lost a 12-round decision as Marriaga digging to the body early.
And I think you hit a great point right there, Mo. Yeah, he's 0-3 in 3 title fights, Marriaga, but that's a lot of experience against great fighters. You know, that's come a long way.
But he's 35. Ramirez is 28 out.
Yeah, the question really is, how much does Marriaga have in the tank at this juncture? One thing to watch for with Marriaga, he scored a knockout in his last fight with an uppercut, but sometimes throws that punch from too far out and can be countered.
Facing a lefty, as I mentioned, for the second consecutive fight. Ramirez pawing. And it's Marriaga lunging in with a lead right and left. There's a textbook 1-2 and another combination to the body by Ramirez.
Ramirez taking his time. Marriaga, you know, doing exactly what he has to do as a veteran, which is pressure, you know, look for openings. That overhand right is always going to work, especially on left-handers.
Lead left hook to the body by Marriaga.
You know, early in this fight, we're seeing Marriaga commit to the body more than Ramirez. This is a different kind of fight. Ramirez told us he might be more selective in his punches. He's usually coming forward trying to blast his way to victory. And the other thing is he has been a slow starter in his career, but lately he's been better about getting started quicker.
Final minute of the opening round. Ramirez throwing some combination. Marriaga, though, seems to be dictating the pace, moving forward, putting pressure. Ramirez avoiding the barrage of blows by Marriaga. There's a nice overhand left that connects for Ramirez on the counter.
Really smart way to walking down Ramirez so far. You know, it's the first round, but Marriaga's doing a good job, pawing with his jab here and there, and, you know, looking for power shots, which, you know, with the overhand right.
And Ramirez continues to go to the textbook, Al. The 1-2 down the middle and has been successful, splitting Marriaga's high guard.
Yeah, it's a good weapons for him, that and the right hook.
So a bit of a hello, how are you? Let's get it on, round 2.
Time!
Take a look at the keys for these two men. For Ramirez, he's facing a 35-year-old fighter. Make him work every second of every round. Go downstairs. We didn't see his body punching yet. I'm sure we will. The right hook is a big, powerful weapon for him. It's created 2 of the last 3 knockouts he's had. As for Marriaga, don't get caught up on the ropes. That's where Ramirez will eat you alive. And don't forget the jab. Yes, he's fighting a lefty, but the jab is important. And why will help him land the straight right hand. He's got a good right hand. Abner alluded to it. It's a big power punch for him.
Round number 2. It's December. It's a little colder. Maybe take a little longer to get the engines going, because Ramirez and Marriaga, once they get started, they don't stop, as we are witnessing here early in the second round.
They heard you.
100%. It's only the second round.
Yeah, these are two guys that will go after it, and now we're seeing them settle into that.
Yeah, and you pointed out about Marriaga. When he lets his hands go, he's really fluent with the combinations. Really, different variety of shots, angles from Ramirez. But, again, he's warming up.
Short right uppercut and a left uppercut, 5-punch combination by Marriaga, and Ramirez coming forward and connecting with a crafty combination of his own.
Talked about Marriaga doing a good job body punching 2 fights ago against Alfredo Mejia. He knocked him out with a left hook to the body, so he can create knockouts or knockdowns with those body punches.
Well, and there are a couple of solid body shots by the southpaw Ramirez.
Yeah, Ramirez taking advantage that Marriaga is not walking straight forward. He's just standing right in front of him. So you take those shots.
And Ramirez showcasing quicker hand speed, putting together his combinations. Lead left uppercut, another left hand lands for Ramirez. So better round here in the second for Eduardo Ramirez.
100%. Ramirez, feeling out Marriaga, putting him in a place where he wants him, which is a distance. He touches with that left, and he comes back with his right.
And there's a left hook, right hand combination that scores for Marriaga, following it up, digging to the body.
I think Ramirez felt those power punches. Yeah. He pushed him back with those shots.
Oh, and a solid right hand by Marriaga, backing Ramirez up. Final minute of the second. And that lead left hook, and with a sickening thud to the body.
It hurt him. That body sure hurt Ramirez.
Watching Marriaga, he looks better right now than he did on tape in his last fight that he won. He won it by KO, but he looks better.
And as a fighter, you want to hear that.
Yeah, that's right.
And again, it's because of all the fights that he's had.
Beautiful combination by Ramirez, culminating with a right hook that momentarily bothered Marriaga. And it's Ramirez's turn to push the pedal to the metal. Marriaga being assaulted by Ramirez down the stretch of the second round. And Marriaga allowing perhaps Ramirez to punch himself out as he comes with a right hand. Great stuff through 6 minutes.
Well, we expected a firefight. Now we got it in round 2. This was early in the round where Marriaga landed the big body punch, the right hand, kept punching and pushed Ramirez back and really got his attention with some power punches. And there mixes in the left hook and showed some good combination punching. But Ramirez came back in a big way, using the right hook as one of his major calling cards, and he has a terrific right hook. And then just ripping shots to push him back. That straight left hand was a part of it. A lot of combination punching by Ramirez in the second part of that round.
Scintillating back and forth action to kick things off here at Staples Center. This is round number 3. Ramirez immediately attacking the body of Marriaga. Marriaga has been a 126-pounder for the majority of his 12-year career as he eats another looping left hand from Ramirez. But you wonder, the question's been asked, can he still compete at the top level? This fight could very well give us that answer.
Ramirez trained by Manuel Montiel, the brother of Fernando Montiel, one of the great Mexican champions. And as we look at the power numbers so far in this matchup, and Ramirez with the edge, primarily because of that last part of that last round. Nice body.
Marriaga, yeah, digging the body, then going upstairs.
You see, and Marriaga really doesn't, misses punches. He doesn't waste punches, basically. Every punch that he throws is with bad intentions. He hurts in the body, he hurts upstairs. But, then Ramirez comes with this fluent combinations, the ones that blind you.
And Ramirez goes to the body, eats a jab upstairs. Lead right hand lands for Marriaga. Lead left hook lands for Marriaga before Ramirez comes with a couple of lead lefts. So Toe-to-toe as anticipated between these two 130-pounders.
You know, all three of our fights underneath their main event on paper look really good. This one looked really good, and so far it looks good in the ring.
And then moments ago we saw that Ramirez was trying to set up his hook, the right hand. He sets it up with the left, there it is, and then he lets go of the right hook, and that's his power shot.
And you know, you look at the numbers, guys, and they would dictate that Ramirez, he's decent in the early rounds, but he gets better and more effective once he warms up, and he has had plenty of opportunity to do just that here in this third round. A minute left. Continues to make the investment to the body despite eating shots from Marriaga.
Both men are really good body punchers, and we're seeing evidence of that.
Right hand clipped Marriaga upstairs.
Oh, this is a fun fight.
Except for the corners, I'm sure they were wondering where the defense is gone.
Yeah, but you know what it is, Ramirez already felt Marriaga's power, and he said, you know what, I can take it, and now he's moving forward. Putting his punches together, grip into the body.
Great point, Abner, in the final 23 seconds of the third, and Ramirez becoming more comfortable, eats a right uppercut on the inside by Marriaga. Marriaga gets caught with a left hook upstairs. So a lot of punches, a lot of connections, and this is the kind of fight that will connect with the crowd anywhere on earth. Now and down goes Marriaga. He thought he slipped, but it was a left hand that caught him.
5, 6, 7, 8. Miguelito, ¿estás bien? Dame. Te pegó en la cabeza, como digo, pasito.
Marriaga down for the 6th time in his career.
Happened there? No, he just kind of slipped. Nothing happened. You're too confident. You need to start going after him and start working downstairs. How are you feeling? I'm feeling good. It's a good fight so far. You got to keep working him downstairs. I don't want you in the middle of the ring.
Marriaga goes down, and it was a cuffing punch, but I think mostly it was probably him slipping.
Yeah.
So I think he makes a good case, and we'll take a second look at it to see, you know, how he went down. There was a left hand by Ramirez. There's the left, just glances off his head. You know, you can make a case for a knockdown.
It's one of those times where, you know, glove touches your face, you go down, and you count it.
Yeah, it has to count, I guess, but you know, he wasn't hurt, certainly.
Time in.
Take 2 here in Tinseltown. Round number 4. Eduardo Ramirez and Miguel Marriaga, and they renew hostilities immediately. Mexico's Ramirez, Colombia's Marriaga, and here in the City of Angels, where they are attempting to beat the devil out of each other.
Yeah, this is just what we thought this fight would be. You know, one of the things Marriaga could do a little more of, he's landing left hooks with impunity. I think he needs to double with that punch.
Beautiful right uppercut on the inside by Ramirez as part of that combination.
I want to see a little bit more angles from Ramirez. I've seen it in previous fights where he puts his punches together and he steps to the side, creating a gap or a space, you know, for him to work.
Oh, and beautiful use of the jab by Ramirez. Gauge the distance, followed up with a bludgeoning left.
Marriaga's a good right-handed puncher, and he's landed some like that. Ramirez taking them well.
And Ramirez, he's really underrated power. He only has, what, 12 knockouts out of 25.
They've almost thrown the same amount of punches, and Ramirez has an edge in the amount connected, but it is as competitive as it gets.
Yeah, and I think the last 3 fights in which Ramirez has called stoppages, Abner, giving him more confidence about his power.
Yeah, tied for the longest such string of his career, so has confidence in his power. Puts together the combination before Marriaga pushes forward, and Marriaga with that lead left hook to the liver.
That was well from Ramirez. Marriaga got him with a good body shot, and the way to retaliate it, you got to go with the body too.
And
you gotta
Ramirez ruling the roost in the body department now.
Yeah, he has landed more body punches, 23 to 9.
Oh, and that left hand connected for Marriaga and downstairs as well. So both of them showcasing stellar whiskers. Yes, Marriaga went down at the end of the round, but more of a slip. Round 3, cuffing right hook by Ramirez.
Más arriba, Ramirez. Sáquense. Sáquense.
And they're throwing almost exactly the same number of punches in this fight, so it's just...
It is exactly.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Yeah.
And when we say exactly, both of them well over 260 punches thrown with 20 seconds left in the 4th round.
I like Ramirez there at that distance. When he puts his punches together at that distance, he's really good, and he's dangerous.
I know what the corners would like for Christmas, a jab or two. Oh, and Marriaga again knocked off balance by the barrage of Ramirez as we go to the 5th.
Early in that round, Ramirez would do some really good work here, countering with the left hand. And, we talk about his right hook, but he has a really good left hand as well, and there was a good example of it. Later in the round, Marriaga coming back, and here's the left hand, and kind of a half hook, half jab. He's done a good job with the left hook, but that was a round in which Ramirez did a lot of good work, though. So Marriaga's doing enough to be in these rounds, but is he doing enough to win any of them?
He's going to get desperate. He's going to get desperate, so just wait for him. Wait for him. He'll get desperate. Don't worry about it. That hook is working, too, so keep doing it.
Ramirez with a big advantage in terms of power punches landed. And we talked about the jab. Marriaga's thrown 110 of them, but has only connected on 2. While Ramirez 4 for 84 with the stick. This is round 5. Mauro Ranallo, Al Bernstein, Abner Matis at ringside. Brian Custer, Jim Gray, and our entire Showtime pay-per-view dream team together here in Los Angeles, and we are just getting started, and what a fight to begin tonight's proceedings.
Ramirez is naturally a right-hander, but he boxes it as a lefty. That's why his right hook is so good.
Makes a lot of sense, and now we're seeing him use that jab a little bit more. Oh, great pivot.
And I want to give some love to our Hall of Fame unofficial scorer, Steve Farhood, we will hear from next round.
He's busy scoring this fight.
And Marriaga's busy scoring with the lead left hook to the body. But it's Ramirez again, textbook 1-2 splitting the high guard, and no head movement from Marriaga, no getting off that center line, Abner.
No, well, he's a guy that's, he's got power, and he's going to keep coming forward. He's going to stand in front of you. No jab, but he creates openings because he will hit you with those body shots.
But he's also eating a lot of those head shots.
And he has, but he'll want to take 1 or 2, in order to give 1.
Oh, digs to the body with the left hand. Past the midway point of the 5th frame. Scheduled for 10 at 130 pounds. Both have competed at featherweight. Nice. 1-2 again by Ramirez.
Good things happen for Marriaga when he starts things off with a left hook to the body. It gets him closer, and it creates sometimes opportunities.
Even if he throws that looping overhand right.
Wow, beautiful 3-punch combination by Ramirez with some poetic work to the body. Love the fact we are seeing so much body work recently on our telecast.
You're 100% right. People think it's a lost art, but it's not really a lost art in the world of boxing. We've seen a lot of it, and this fight is Exhibit A.
Now I wish the judges would score those,
also. Be nice if they gave them credit, wouldn't it? Yeah. We saw the question of whether 2 judges gave Brandon Figueroa credit in this fight for body work.
Well, Marriaga Ramirez wanting credit for the work they are putting in. And again, in terms of the total punches thrown, they are going tit for tat here, but it's a big advantage, almost 2-1 in terms of total punches connected for Eduardo Ramirez, the 28-year-old who came into this fight with a record of 25-2-3 with 1 no contest against Marriaga, 35 years of age, 30-4 with 26 KOs.
In a round in which we saw a lot of good action, there was first a punch from Marriaga as he tries to throw the left hook, but it strays a little low, and at the time we saw Ramirez suggest that to Ray Corona. And then combinations landing. The uppercut, that leading off the combination, which is rare. And there's that right hook from Ramirez. He has such a powerful right hook to both the body and the head. Then Marriaga coming back. Marriaga is a good right-handed puncher, and those are the kind of right hands that he's accustomed to guys falling or being in trouble from. Ramirez took it well.
Especially when Ramirez walks straight in the line. You know, Marriaga is really effective with the 1-2-3 straight.
We are at the midway point of this opening contest scheduled for 10 rounds. Marriaga went down with just seconds left in round 3 from a glancing left to the temple. Replays show that it was more of a slip, but offensively, Ramirez has been landing more, and it includes a sustained attack to the body out.
Yeah, and you know, it's good that you brought that up right there, because we're headed into round 6, and against a 35-year-old, that body work could help him.
All right, let's bring in our unofficial scorer, Steve Farad. How do you have it after 5?
Mo, Ramirez is not only landing more punches, he's landing the better punches. I gave Marriaga the first round, but it's been all Ramirez since, including that 10-8 round in the third with the late knockdown. So overall, 49-45 Ramirez. He has all the momentum. He's won 4 rounds in a row on my card.
And Marriaga trying to steal the momentum with those left hooks to the body, but Ramirez coming back with a flurry of right uppercuts on the inside and then using the left, and it's all body work before going upstairs. The punch placement, the pressure, and the offense from Eduardo Ramirez, electrifying the early crowd here in Los Angeles.
The uppercuts from Ramirez are amazing, and what's impressive about him is people used to think he was a one-dimensional fighter. He's showing everything.
He is lighting Marriaga up like a Christmas tree. What a counter right hand by Marriaga, but it doesn't stop Ramirez from marching forward.
The thing is that Ramirez has, decent power, but not enough to keep Marriaga away. But again, Ramirez throwing really fluent, really well-placed combinations, and especially that uppercut.
Yeah, only half of Ramirez wins have come inside the distance, while just under 12 of 25 victories. Under a minute left here in the 6th.
Ramirez has landed 34 punches. 50% of his punches, according to show stats, he's landed in this round. And here's the point, Marriaga has been at 130. He has knocked people out at this weight class. Ramirez coming up in weight, but Marriaga has not hurt him.
Abner very impressed with the vision of Eduardo Ramirez, the way he is placing his punches and the way that he is using his entire arsenal, but the way that he attacks the body, you can see it in his eyes.
Yeah, no, great body work, great attack. I would just like to see a little bit more angles, especially when you have a guy that's just straightforward, create an angle, and you have a better shot, connecting straight and clean punch.
The only place you're going to find an angle maybe this fight is a geometry class, because right now these two are standing right in front of each other. Final 10 seconds of another solid round of toe-to-toe action with Eduardo Ramirez getting the best of things.
Well, in what was a very big round for Ramirez, there were still moments of back-and-forth action. He had Marriaga on the ropes, landing that nice, straight left hand. Marriaga, though, coming back with his own right. That's Marriaga's calling card.
What happened? What happened to you in that round?
You
You need to put him next to the... Rounds. You got to win the last 3 rounds. That's what we're looking at right now, okay? You understand what I'm telling you? We're okay, but we got to do it. Guys here, you're going great. No problem. Nice fight. But the uppers are really hurting into the body, so keep doing that. Keep doing it. Don't stop.
Time! Allá, Ramirez. Miguel, para acá.
¿Si puedes defenderte? Claro. Okay, ¿quieres seguir peleando? Claro. Okay.
Ándale. Okay.
Miguel,
Dr. Andre Guerrero checking out Miguel Marriaga, the 35-year-old who has been on the receiving end of a sustained assault from Eduardo Ramirez. This is round number 7, and as the fight continues to unfold, Marriaga at 35, Al, has been training 6 weeks high altitude in Mexico, which could serve him well, but
yeah, he felt he was in the best shape he could be in coming into this fight, and it's reflected itself in a way because he's taken some tough shots from the younger Ramirez.
Yeah, it definitely reflects when you got good conditioning, you can take good shots, but at the same time, you know, you gotta use that for another thing, you know, throw more punches.
recently we have seen Ramirez with fast starts followed by explosive finishes.
And going back to Ramirez, you know, me liking for him to use more angles is because I've seen him do that in the past. He'll throw 1-2, you know, being a left-hander, he'll pivot to the left, pivot to the right, and he'll throw nice uppercuts.
Marriaga going to the body. Needs an uptick in terms of accuracy, Al. He's throwing a lot of punches, but not landing as many as Ramirez, obviously.
No, he's not. And, you know, landing at only 34% of his power punches, overall only 23% of his punches, so that's not good enough.
The 48 power punches that Ramirez landed in the last round, the highest total from either fighter thus far in this fight. And there's a lead left and a counter. Wow, right uppercut, left hand, and Eduardo Ramirez just putting it together and putting it on Marriaga.
That roundhouse right hook hurt Marriaga. That was one of the best punches in that sequence.
He took it well. He's coming back with his own punches as well.
Sitting down, delivering with bad intentions. Eduardo Ramirez walking down Marriaga. Marriaga displaying some defense and trying to put together a combination, but a lot of space down the middle for those left hands from Ramirez.
There's the uppercut from Marriaga. You know, I talked about that before, that he knocked out the opponent with it a couple fights ago, and it's a good weapon for him, but he hasn't been able to get it in.
Yeah. You don't want to get into, you know, all the way in if you're Ramirez. You want to stay at that distance right there. Even though you missed, that's where you want to place your punches from. You create more power from there.
Final half minute of the seventh. Stiff jab by Marriaga.
Great distance, great defense right now.
Great fight.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's a one-sided fight, but a fun one.
Yeah, entertaining.
Ramirez was able to land this right hook, and that almost sent Marriaga down. It would have been, what, the 7th time in his career that he would have been down. And a second look at it shows that, you know, the right hook, which we said coming in was one of the keys for Ramirez, lands flush. Marriaga, give him credit for not going down.
It's that conditioning he's got.
Yeah. Shakes his head, so yeah, nice punch.
You got to knock him out. You got to knock him out.
We're good.
Too much Vaseline there. Take some off. Start working the body. And then when you soften up, you go up.
Alejandro Galindo, Marriaga's trainer. imploring him to work the body as we begin the 8th round, scheduled for 10. Fight being contested at 130 pounds. Ramirez seeking his career longest 4th consecutive knockout, did drop Marriaga for the 6th time in his career with seconds left in the 3rd.
If you're going to come up a weight class, this is the kind of performance you want that Ramirez is getting. He's landing 49% of his power punches, which is everything other than a jab. That is excellent.
Yeah, and especially you letting that division know that you can take a punch from a legit 130-pounder.
Yep.
You know, a guy that's been tested before. So you know, a lot there Ramirez is showing tonight.
Right uppercut by Marriaga. They have crossed the 1,000 punch threshold in terms of combined strikes. And our unofficial scorer, Steve Farhood, has Ramirez pulling away.
On his corner, they
Building on
told
his
him,
lead.
yeah, I'm sorry, Mauro, they told him you need a knockout in this fight, and they're correct, probably.
He has 26 of them, but throughout his career, 15 of his 26 KOs have been scored in the first 3 rounds. So he'll have to do something dramatic. That's according to our unofficial scorecard.
Right.
We don't know how the 3 judges chosen by the California State Athletic Commission seated at ringside are seeing this.
You are absolutely correct in reminding us of that fact. Marriaga has hit him with big power punches. It just hasn't dented Ramirez. So whether he can still has the ability at this point in the fight to hurt him remains to be seen.
Ramirez has 1 knockout in the 9th, none later. Has just 12 KOs on his resume, and he'll beat you with this volume, he'll beat you with the pressure. But again, recently has definitely showcased his power and wanted to display it here tonight against Marriaga, who, as we mentioned, has vied for championships on 3 different occasions, and the global pandemic precluded him from vying for his 4th.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, hey, Marriaga's 30-1 against non-champions. So, you know, it's those pesky champs, and a couple of them he faced are going to be in the Hall of Fame.
It's those pesky reasons you fight.
Yes.
And we talked about conditioning and you know how well Marriaga's taking those punches, but Ramirez as well, man. He's got great conditioning. He's moving forward.
Yep.
He's the one that's putting the pressure, putting the punches together. So, you know, credit to Ramirez. Non-stop from him.
He's got the youth, the speed, the freshness, and the power. As we wrap up the 8th round, first of 4 fights coming your way on Showtime pay-per-view.
Tiempo.
Let's get some Vaseline going.
No, it's too much water. Too much water, too much ice. Too much. No water, no water, no water. Ice.
That's ice there. That's not, it's not water. Listen to me, listen to me. The jab and then come out. Jab and then with the right hand, right in the middle. Then work that body, okay? You don't have to wait. Time is running out, so let's go.
Sálganse, sálganse. Estate atrás. Miguel, acá, 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 acá.
This is round number 9, otherwise known as the penultimate round. Al.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
When you don't say that, I feel bad.
It's one of the few drinking games I guess I haven't started yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of drinking, though, I mean, it's Marriaga that's got to, you know, start pouring it on Ramirez if he can, because Ramirez now using the jab a little more.
Well, Marriaga, by the way, has been 10 rounds once, 0-1. He's been 12 also. He's 1-2 in 12 rounders, a couple of those to champions. Ramirez is 1-0-1 in 10-round fights. He also has gone 12 rounds twice, though both those are losing efforts. So they've seen these rounds before.
Abner, when you are in Miguel Marriaga's shoes, 35 years of age, here against a younger, fresher Eduardo Ramirez, putting together these combinations, what adjustments would you be making?
Well, obviously, we're talking about the 9th round now.
Well, there's still time.
I mean, he is a power puncher. What I would like for him to do is just, be more volume puncher, put his punches together, look for an opportunity. Really, that's all he can get.
Hey, take Bellator bantamweight champion Sergio Pettis was losing every single second of his championship fight against Kyoji Horiguchi until the 4th round when he knocked him out cold with a spinning back fist. And this is it, the theater of the unpredictable, the theater of drama, the theater of truth. And 1 minute, 20 seconds left in the 9th, and Marriaga and Ramirez continue to stand in front of each other and continue to throw those punches. But in this round, Marriaga's out throwing.
Yeah, he actually is. A few more punches. You had an exciting night at Bellator, that's for sure, here on Showtime. And that fight was
3 or 4 fights ended in knockout, my man. What a way to end the year.
Very exciting.
And I think that main event finished knockout of the year in MMA. And here, Marriaga and Ramirez continue to try to knock each other out.
I'm trying to get your guys' attention. Hey, you know what? We're excited also.
This is a boxing match.
This is pretty good also.
No, but, again, really exciting fight, despite Ramirez being, up in the scorecards on our cards. Marriaga putting in a really
gutsy
fight.
effort.
Yeah, really gutsy.
And again, 35 years of age, a guy who's been there and now continues to eat the jab. He just shows that experience, that mettle, the gumption and the guile that got him to this point. But for Eduardo Ramirez, again, he is picking up a lesson as he continues in this fight, learning more as he goes about himself and his capabilities.
Yeah, this is kind of a breakout performance for him against a really good veteran.
Sergey Derevyanchenko. Hey, speaking of 3 opportunities at the title, he may be the best middleweight never to have won the championship. Has been in tough. He knows at this stage of his career he needs to put it all together, get back on track, and he faces a very tough test tonight in his opponent, Adames, who is looking to become a player at 160 pounds. So that still to come. Plenty of action here at the Staples Center on a Sunday night.
I know, it's different. Carlos Adames rolling the dice and taking on one of the toughest middleweights in his very first middleweight fight, so that's fascinating.
And meanwhile, the 10th and final round has begun with Eduardo Ramirez in the black and gray, and while they're both in similar colors when it comes to trunks, but it's Eduardo Ramirez using lateral movement, leading with the left hand, pulling is Marriaga, but he doesn't counter. Now he leads with the right.
Ramirez has landed 48% of his power punches in this match, and that is, when you're near the 50% range, it's very impressive.
Now, if you're Ramirez, I don't know what the corner's telling him. If they feel like he's winning the fight, which we think. You just want to box. You want to stay in the outside now. You don't want to give Marriaga an opportunity.
Ramirez coming from Los Mochis, Mexico, and you talk about, hey, what's in the water? Well, it's not H2O, it's H2KO in Los Mochis. He is sparred as a youngster with the likes of Jorge Arce, Fernando Montiel, and Hugo Caceres. And Marriaga looking to make one last rally here. Marriaga,
he sure is,
throwing everything with all his might, going to the body with the right. And there's a right hook and another right by Ramirez. The fact that they are still punching with so much purpose here after the fight they've had.
I think he wanted this fight round to be the way Abner talked about. Ramirez did. Let's box, let's be careful.
Yeah.
Marriaga forced him to get back into the trenches.
100%. Once Ramirez felt the punches from Marriaga, he said, there's no other way but to respond with my own punches. And he's doing a great job.
And give Marriaga credit. 35-year-old veteran marched out in his 10th round to try everything to turn this fight around and create a miracle. He's still got a minute to do it in. We'll see.
And Eduardo Ramirez, a confidence builder.
Stop.
1 minute away now from what we think a victory against a guy who has been at the highest level of the sport.
You talked about Los Mochis, the water. Guess what? Ramirez works in the water purification department.
Well done, sir.
He knows about water.
Well done. Oh, wow. Nice right hand there by Ramirez. And, you know, the numbers are just a barometer, and yet look at the amount of offense still on display. Not a lot of steam behind the shots, but hats off to both Eduardo Ramirez and Miguel Marriaga. Terrific way to get things started here at the Staples Center as these two, well, they try to staple each other until the very end. Dimple!
Well, it was a sizzling final round in this match in which Marriaga came out with the intention of trying to make things happen, throwing good combinations, sneaking in a right hand and missing with some, yes, but he was really trying to make this a comeback for him, but it was short-circuited in that 10th by Ramirez, landing the beautiful straight left hand, and he came back ultimately to land 26 punches in round 10, Ramirez, including punches like that right hook to the body. Marriaga gave it a go through that whole round.
They gave it a go throughout the entire fight. Over 1,400 combined punches thrown.
For that man, Marriaga, at age 35, he felt, he told us he wanted to fight for another year or two. We'll see what, he lost to Joet Gonzalez, and people thought maybe that was a signal he was eroding a little bit, and got a big win in between that and this fight, but this fight didn't go the way he wanted to. And back in round 3, there was the only knockdown in the fight. Marriaga going down, clipped with the left hand. He was already kind of off balance. He was actually hurt more, as we take a second look at it, later on in the fight by a big right hook that almost created a knockdown. And Marriaga landing his signature right hand and kind of leaned in. He was kind of leaning in when he got clipped.
Yeah, it was like a little push, a little, yeah, it was a push. He slipped. But again, the glove touched his face. Referee thought that it was a knockdown.
And these numbers demonstrate what a good job Ramirez did. Marriaga active and landing punches, just not enough. The big numbers at 48% of the power punches landed by Ramirez. Again, that's everything other than the jab. Many of them were body shots. Excellent job.
With the official decision, here is Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of action here at Staples Center in Los Angeles, we have a unanimous decision. All 3 judges scored about the same, 99-90. All 3 in favor of the winner of the WBC Super Featherweight World Title Eliminator, Eduardo Zurdo Ramirez.
His career high knockout streak may have ended at 3, but Eduardo Ramirez, in his first fight at 130 pounds in 7 years, does a terrific job in defeating Miguel Marriaga, setting him up for a opportunity at a belt in a new weight class. And to summarize the scores, All three judges saw it exactly the same. 99-90 for Ramirez, who improves to 26-2-3 with 1 no contest. Our unofficial scorer, Steve Farhood, he had it the exact same way. 99-90. I love it when a plan comes together. All right, let's go to Brian Custer.
Okay, Mo, congratulations, Eduardo Ramirez, who says he wants to be a player at 130 pounds. He said the only way he would go back and fight at 126 if he gets that fight against Gary Russell Jr., according to Ramirez.